like you've never seen him before.
Hey, Joker, a battering surprise!
Okay, so just a small recap from where we left off last week. You guys made it to Angler's Island. You had some fun at the puzzle house with another guy from the guild, local of Angler's Island. His name was Tack. You solved some riddles, played some dice games, and won a little bit of money. Your investigations led you to meet with the owner and proprietor of the puzzle house, named an very, very old elf named Mogren, and he kind of clued you in on some local rumors about a supposed temple that might be in the outlying islands. You went to the area where it was supposed to be, and you actually did find the temple. You entered, and when your first little bit of exploration, fought against some Kuatoa, and you opened up the chest, I believe, that was in the room.
Yeah. Got those ruby
Yes,
slippers.
Yes.
Ruby flippers.
Ruby flippers. I got my ruby flippers.
So there you go. You guys had just opened up the chest and defeated all the enemies in this room. The one area that Tyler and Sean's characters are standing in right now was a small room where excavations had been done, and there's like tools for that kind of stuff laying around, like picks and hammers and stuff like that. So you go ahead and take it away.
Now, did you guys investigate that room, like trying to discern what they might have been digging for? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I think they were just trying to build a
'cause those two were in there.
passageway, weren't they?
I don't know.
We initially thought it
I
was
mean,
egg
you could
sacks.
I mean, I guess ask Wilson. Would they be able to maybe roll an investigation? I don't remember if they did previously.
You had investigated the room just in general and noticed that these excavations were going on. It's not they're not digging through in a way that would be conducive to building like a further passage or a connection to another room. It looked like they were trying to like dig into the walls to either like just create another room entirely in here, or to find something that might have been within the walls.
And the wall to our south, that just is a wall right there, correct? It's just like two chambers essentially.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I do remember there was a split to the right at the beginning of this cave entrance.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
say we head back and sally forth and
Yeah,
explore a little bit southward.
Indeedly do.
Jesus, you are just working that down.
Dude, I love
All right, so you guys backtrack your way through that room, the large kind of cavernous room with all the strange jellyfish-like creatures floating in it. And as you get back to that main intersection, right where the main door to the temple is itself, you can see that the room to the south, the floor forms a large step, and that's STEPPE, like the geographic or geological formation. Large tiers kind of ascending as it goes further south. There's huge reef-like formations that sit atop the second highest tier, about 30 feet above where you are right now on the quote-unquote ground floor. And I'll review it here as I tell you more.
well,
He's gonna he's gonna be showing more of the map, I think.
I was going to be bold and just step forward. Step into the darkness.
If you want to, I mean,
out of the darkness and into the light.
Go stealth first, or at least attempt to go stealth
well,
By doing what?
by hunkering down and being super mindful of how I step and where I step, lowering my center of gravity.
All right, roll that beautiful stealth. Okay. So as you can see here, there's the kind of big rocks in the middle of the room that are like, they look like they're from a reef or large pieces of coral. And as you can, the tiers themselves, they each step up by about like 5 or 10 feet. So you can see the next 2 up, but you can't see a whole lot of what would be on top of the highest one. There's like large piles of smooth, flat stones that look to be some sort of very crude sleeping pallets or sleeping areas. And on the ground floor that you guys are on right now, you can also see a set of stone steps that ascend to the east.
I have a question. That top. Well, I guess that's something that we'd have to find out on our own. But I was gonna say at the top of these steppies here, is that like an entry type thing, or is that another flat thing, or is that something we'll have to?
We can't
find
see
out?
up there.
I know, but just looking at it,
No. Well,
I'm
I mean,
just wondering if that's-
we could explore it when
as
we
he
get
was
up there.
describing the scenery.
We
Oh, there's
to go
some
up there
sort
to
of-
figure out if that
That
You
also,
can, so like what you can actually see and make out stops probably at like this area here.
Fair. I could probably, me and Sean could barely, probably even you, barely see that second tier. Like the one closest to us, like besides ground floor.
This is
The
probably
one-
where
the one
vision
with
kinda
this-
cuts off. Yeah, I have dark vision and
Well, it's not so much about light, which that is another question.
it's more angle.
It's more of
It's-
just height because it's like
Yeah.
5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet.
Yeah.
And you are short.
Are you?
Yeah. It's like pretty much from what you guys have seen.
Take the stairs and see where the stairs go.
from what we can see
You know. Well,
on here,
So
there's a hallway there.
yeah.
from what you guys have noticed about the majority of this temple, there are those glass orbs that are like lighted fixtures. So the entire place is well lit. You have no problem seeing as far as that. But like you guys are kind of sussing out right now, it's like being at the bottom or like in an auditorium, and you can see that there are balconies. You can't see what are up there in the balconies, but you can see that there's an area up there.
I got an idea if you guys want to let me do it, just to see if there's any guards or anything up there.
Are you gonna do
Which
your,
way? Up the stairs or?
All the way up here. I
Are you
wanna
gonna
see
do
if I
your
can throw
divine
a
sense?
pebble up there.
Well,
I would say maybe ascend at least one of the steps, just because, judging by
This is
you know
better for aim.
the height the height advantage and the sincere lack of ranged ability, we really don't want to get in a fight if there's something up there. But
Right. I do have 8 daggers on me, though. I could just go fucking Batman all over their ass.
me thinks that these steps probably just lead around back up to here.
But,
maybe we'll see.
I mean, I could do a little scouting.
If you wanna,
I think we definitely don't want to split it up, but
no,
I'm
I would.
gonna walk forward to the edge of the step, and as I get to the edge, just from this vantage point, want to see if I can run a perception check, or at least kind of peering over, because you said this is about 5 feet tall, and there's just the little lip above us, right, Wilson?
Yep. It's about 5 feet up from where you are to the next tier.
Just a little perception check and make sure, or just kind of peering to see if this is solid ground on here for one or more of us to venture forth.
Are you the tallest one?
He's a little bit taller than me,
So should
He's
maybe
an old wobbly
but
dwarf.
I mean I'm just standing at the edge trying to like assess the ground itself.
Oh,
Maybe like investigate it a little more if we had to be specific.
Just perception. It's not that hard to tell. You don't have to look at it that closely.
Physical rolling, by the way. I
That's
got
fine.
a 21.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to notice that, like, the entire floor here, whatever tier it's on, it's carved out of the same stone solid mass that the walls are. So there's no question of structure, whether it would support you. It absolutely would. There's nothing to worry about with that.
I turn, put my back against the wall. I look at Hingman, and I look at Bruce, and I just link my hands together, and I give him one of these upward hand motions, trying to be vocally quiet, but giving him a little platform to boost up.
So do you
I'm
want
picking up what you're putting down and follow through with the plan.
I am a little confused, and are you boosting us over, or are you having us peek?
I'm giving you one of these motions.
Well, yeah.
Just on the off chance. You know,
I'm hand signaling this. I'm hand signaling over, or
No, I'm pointing you. I'm pointing into my hand,
okay.
and I'm
Okay.
doing basically a catapult motion backwards.
Got it.
So I'm kind of settling up against, putting my back to brace against the edge, and I'm just giving the Hingman a little leg up.
And I pop on over, and I hop on up on him, and wheel. And boop. Boop.
I think I'd like to just kind of lift myself over.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the other three, you guys have no problem getting up each of these kind of steps to the next tier. Because like I said, they're like only 5 feet at the very most. And once you get up to that second tier, you can see more of what are those flat, smooth stones that have been kind of laid out as like little places where it looks like people would lay down and sleep. It's not the most comfortable looking thing to you guys, but you don't know exactly what would sleep there and like why it's stones instead of hay or something more comfortable.
My thought immediately was just that it was like graves or something, but since he's specifically saying it's a bed,
Can we investigate it more? I was kind of wanting to toss a pebble up there, see if any like movement occurs.
Well, from this point,
can we investigate?
those are
before
just
you do that?
slightly tall mounds of stone. Correct, Wilson?
Is it? Okay.
The ones at your feet are like they rise like their quote unquote height is maybe 3 inches. They're like right on the ground. They're spread out into like a somewhat smoother, I guess, like surface than the just cold stone floor itself.
I'm gonna investigate further
Further what?
on the mounds. Like look at the mounds to see if there's anything I can find.
It sounded like it was pretty flat, but I mean,
But I mean, like if there's any shit left there, or like
Precious gem.
like hair or some
well, maybe
shit,
not precious gems,
Just
but
a
just
random-
an indication of
or
what
like
was
like
there,
hair
maybe.
or fucking whatever.
It's even without in trying to investigate it more closely, you can see that it's really just a bunch of like smooth, flat stones, ones that would be good for skipping across the water if you should want to take one and keep it for some reason. There are a couple of like purpley, some are blue, some are a little bit more green fish scales that just litter the ground in this place. There's not a ton of them, but every so often on the ground you can just look and say, hey, there's a scale. So it would be like for one of us, you know, finding a broadshow hair randomly somewhere there. It's just gonna fall off at some point.
All right. Yeah, I'll pick up a stone, I suppose.
I think I'll take 4 stepping stones or skipping stones.
Okay.
I'm gonna take 2.
You taking 2?
As long as you're not trying to take entire piles, take as much as you want. If they're just stones.
I just want some stones, dude. One of mine is purple, and one of mine will be green.
I just move on and kind of step next to the next tier, but
Kind of hiding next to the ledge by the wall.
so you want to do your little stone thing.
Yeah. Just want to see if it causes any movement
Alright.
up there.
I'm gonna try and
Suspicious noises.
before he does that, Wilson, I'm gonna try and hug the wall here, and I'm gonna try and just kind of stealth up, or just not stealth up, but just kind of like hide. Try and be not as loud as I normally am.
Yeah.
Odd.
Natty 20.
Nice.
I
I'd like to motion to the other 2 as well.
I vorp into the wall.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you guys, even though he was like just a few feet away from you a second ago, you kind of just out of your peripheral see him move over to take like a stance on the side of the wall, and you just actually try to follow him with your gaze. And when you turn, you have to take a second to like, oh, there he is, because you kind of lose him for a moment.
Double take it. I'm just gonna come up alongside the bottom of that, since it's like 5 feet tall and I'm 2'7". I'm just gonna hug that wall right there.
You
Yeah,
just
no
you
problem.
just stand facing it.
Yeah. There's really no stealth needed.
I'm gonna hang back.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna hang back a little bit.
Okay.
But still, it's pretty close to me.
Alright, I'm gonna, I guess, am I still stealth from last time, or should I do another one?
No, I'll let you know if you would need to do a new one. But when you're throwing this stone, are you trying to hit any area specifically, or just going for distance?
I would like to try to, like, bounce it off the edge of that. Maybe...
It just looks like a puddle.
like,
That's all.
bloom, bloom. Like that, maybe it's a puddle up there?
Okay, so that's no. Those are more of what was like back behind you on the ground floor, the like coral reef looking kind of things. Like, if you haven't caught on by now, this entire temple is meant to make people who are used to living underwater feel more at home being like not in the water.
Gotcha. So yeah, I guess I'll have to try to
Dexter.
flick it off of that coral, and after it leaves my hands,
Yeah.
I just want to like sidle up against the wall and try to be as inconspicuous as I can be.
Okay, just a straight dex check to try and bounce it off of that specific stone. And it hits where you wanted it to hit, but it doesn't bounce like the direction you were kind of hoping that it would. And as you throw it and press yourself back up against the wall, you just kind of listen for a second, and you hear it clack, 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 clack. Listen for a couple seconds more to see any kind of reaction, and it's still, it's quiet. There's no immediate reaction that you can hear or notice to you throwing the stone.
Well, I guess I want to look to the other guys and shrug and make a movement like we should move on and keep climbing.
I ascend this one. Extend the hand downwards.
I clasp. I clasp and have him pull me up.
Yep. You yank him up pretty heartily.
Boop.
Look over to Knox. Motion him forward.
I'm coming up.
I'm coming. You young whippersnappers.
Just keep going.
And now, Heskar, now that you're up a couple more tiers and you're getting closer and closer to the south wall, you can see in the very southeast corner, the highest tier is relatively small compared to the others, and there is a even kind of layer or dusting of very fine white sand like there is on the ocean floor on the outside of this temple.
I think we better be on our guard. It seems like there might be something off with this area. I don't know quite yet, but proceed with caution.
I don't trust it.
I'm always cautious.
You're always grumpy. as I kind of meander over the top.
I don't even respond. I'm used to that kind of dismissiveness.
God damn it! I keep like pushing 30.
But I'm still gonna be like hugging up
And
against the walls
using
and
my
just
own
being sneaky man.
abilities, I bring you up.
Thank you.
I just teleport up.
And then now that like the closer you guys get to that southwestern little corner where that highest tier is, the sand is laid out very similarly to the other piles of rocks. It's just a different substance that was kind of laid out for somebody to relax on or rest on.
From an elevated position such as this, I don't think whoever was last here was just your your average Kurotoa.
Must be the big boss.
Might be, and
Those beds for his little
Wherever-
underling guard
wherever
bitches.
this side path leads, we definitely need to be on our toes.
Absolutely.
I'll step forward if you guys want me to, or do we want to be a little bit more loud with this?
Fuck it, let's just move.
All right, fair enough. I take the lead. How's the lighting from this point here?
I'd like to go side by side with you if that's cool, Tikoe.
Tikoi?
Depends on how wide this is, I guess.
Quick, quick.
Lighting is the same as it has been throughout the entire temple. Just every so often, higher up on the walls are those glass orbs that are affixed to the wall, and they're giving out that blue dancing kind of light that was making that watery reflection effect.
And it seems like the path kind of curves a little bit here. We'll just move forward, kind of a motion for everybody to kind of stick to the inside of the wall, at least just for the moment. You get absorbed into the wall.
I'm following. I'm just my character's not moving right now.
And moving into that side passage, it opens up into another room where there are many more piles, and these are like broken up shells, not smooth rocks. It's a mishmash of anything that you would find on the ocean floor: sand, rocks, dried up pieces of seaweed, coral. Like I said, like there's broken shells and stuff. It's just like, it's kind of like as you've been moving through this southern area, it's like, oh, there's the twin beds right there. There's the king, the California king, and these are like the fucking folding cots that you use for camping. Like the quality has varied per different groupings of these like little bed areas.
And in this immediate room, it seems like there's quite a few from the looks of it.
Yep. Babies, maybe? No.
How's this here, Sean?
Janitors?
Secure connection. The connection is not secure.
That's what's the
Well, does the ground seem to have quite a few of those shells?
Like the piles here are more hodgepodge, so they're not as neat, and therefore a lot of the stuff that would make up the piles are like scattered just oddly all over the floor.
Stealthing is going to prove difficult.
Yep.
But
So we should probably let's just go loud and proud.
I think we just proceed with caution is probably the what I would say. And I kind of roll around the corner waiting for Wayne to kind of side by side as he had mentioned.
I want to have two throwing daggers drawn at the ready.
I'm gonna have my quarterstaff out.
The small sleeping cavern, or whatever you would refer to it as, just continues on. There's nothing else of note.
All right. Well, the path seems to branch off a little bit here. Let's again stay on our toes here.
Well,
And Wayne, as you move back into the farthest part of this cavern, it's pretty bare back here. There are old clay pots that look like they would have held at one point different liquids, and if you go up and you actually want to like look into them, you can see a lot of dried residue of salt on the inside. So putting two and two together, these were large containers that held salt water from the sea outside. So with there being nothing else even remotely of note in this area, you kind of discern this whole southern room or connection of rooms is just like sleeping quarters, or where whoever would have inhabited this temple might have come to rest, or to or even the Kuatoa that are here now, when they're taking a break from their excavations and whatever else they might be doing. This is where they go to have their rest.
Well, at least we know this path leads to, well, practically nowhere. So, back to the stairs, I suppose.
Was there anything else in this corner back here, or is it just a wall?
Just more pots.
Okay.
Well, I mean, at least I guess we got some insight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scouting scouting ahead rather than moving foolishly.
There's definitely a class system going on.
I think I would like to take a trophy right about now. I would like to try to find the smallest, sturdiest pot and put it into my bag.
Do you have enough room for that?
The smallest one is as tall as it goes from the ground up to your like sternum. They're pretty big.
I thought they were maybe just, like-
Hingman could probably hide in them.
Okay.
Could probably be my
Oh, he
Maybe,
could
like,
absolutely
broken
fit
ones
into
on the
some of
ground
these.
then, with like pieces of the art or calligraphy or whatever on them.
Lest we disturb this in case.
I mean, there's odd like chips and parts, and like some of these are partial pots. They've been cracked, or like entire halves or quarters have come off of them. The smallest one that you can find that's like the most manageable doesn't have it has like a tiny little clipping of some of the art, but anybody else who might have looked at that, like look at this little piece of the pot, would not know where it came from or like the rest of the design on the pot itself.
Well, I'm gonna heed. TK, what's your guy's name? Again?
Heskar.
Heskar. I'm gonna heed Heskar's advice and just leave all the religious artifacts alone, lest we make a god grumpy.
Maybe more so the.
All right, my
we
dudes.
lucked out and we missed the majority of the occupants inside.
That too.
Don't want to incite any more anger than we already might.
Fair
I
enough.
generate.
So is it? Oh yeah, we still got the stairs. So we should make our way back towards that.
Yes.
I'm just gonna wait here for the rest of the dudes.
I'm just gonna hop on down.
Do you need me?
Teleport there.
I like hold my hands out. Do you need me to? And I don't say it, but
Yeah. And I just give you a fucking look, just like
Don't
fucking.
patronize me.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating for Knox because the pace that he was keeping, along with the pace that everybody else had, different from Knox. By the time that he catches up with the rest of you in like that room where all the crappy beds are, you're already turning around to go back out of the room. So you kind of just like see him catch up with you, and then you walk past him as you exit again. So he just kind of has to do a 180 and just walk right back out of the room.
I can't even see my token.
come now, Knox. Step lively.
What was it right
You're like right.
Tyler's token has disappeared on his
Nope.
screen.
It should be like right.
On my screen, I can't see.
On his
Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah, you can't even move his screen.
As I say, can you see it now?
Wilson put it in a new one.
Yeah, Wilson put it over there by the rest of
Can't see
ours.
anything.
Nope.
You're gonna probably have to reload.
I've been doing that.
Yeah,
Just
I
keep
think
going.
it's-
Is your browser like out of date or something?
I don't know.
It uses like WebGL. Usually, if you have like an older browser version, it might kind of fuck with it, but I don't know. All right. So the stairs. How high upwards did those stairs ascend?
From where you're standing, 8 feet about. They're not a very long set of stairs, but they just go like up to the next level.
I kind of motion towards Wainred and keep an ear out. Maybe scout ahead further, just at the top of the stairs. Nothing too crazy.
I give him a thumbs up while holding my dagger.
You just like
I said that all with my hands. Hand signals.
you just lift your helmet up. Just lift your helmet up and get an ear out. Or you have a little ear latch. You just
Yeah,
open
just-
on the side, and then your ear just pops out. Boop.
Here's what I'm gonna do, Wilson. I'm gonna put one of those daggers back in its sheath. I'm gonna put the other dagger between my teeth, and I'm gonna little kid crawl stealth style up the stairs, peek right over the top.
Okay, that's going to require a different stealth check then.
All right.
I don't
Crit
think that
fail. Here we go.
YouTube's terms and conditions allows for things like that.
Can I use my luck point to get the 21 instead?
Well, you would
Yep,
re-roll.
you have 2 of those remaining. Is that right?
Yeah, I got 2 left.
The way that luck works is you
right.
re-roll and then you
Yep.
take the.
I have to do the reroll.
Yep.
All right, I'll just do the reroll then.
Okay.
You're just breaking all the rules. Bullet.
Oh, why couldn't I get that nat 20?
All right. So you proceed up the stairs, little kid style, sort of army crawling your way up. And when you get far enough up there, you can see a rickshaw-like kind of cart sits prominently at the top of the stairs. There are rocks and pieces of debris filling the wagon portion of it. Just past that, you can make out a few barrels and crates, but you're not fully at the top of the stairs, so your vision is then cut off for what is further past that.
Okay. I would like to toss another pebble and do a perception check.
Well, I would say just, say what you're going to do and he'll probably tell you what you're going to do. Or what he would need you to do.
Right. I would like to try to go ping, pong, ping, if that would be at all possible.
Sure. Another just dex check.
18.
So you don't have to throw it that hard because you're not that far away from it. So it makes it a little bit easier to get the angles that you're looking for. And it bounces off the first wall, crosses over to the second, and you hear it hit 1, 2, 3, and then it comes to rest. So from your sort of like radar pinging of that small area, you find out exactly that it's like just a small little alcove. I'll reveal it here for you.
Do I hear anything respond to the noise?
Sounds like that's probably all you got.
It's just the hallway.
Probably got some workers up there.
I kind of saddle up to the stairs and I flick him in the bottom of his foot and just give him one of the looks.
Should have Tendy flicked him.
Take my middle finger and my pointer finger, point directly at my eyes, and just to try to indicate to the other team members that let's keep our eyes open. I don't know if there's anything up there yet.
I just look at his eyes like, what am I supposed to be seeing here?
I look
'Cause I'm a dangle.
at Bard Show, and I grab my eyelids with my fingers and force them open to try to drive the point home even further.
Again, confused, I look at him and repeat the same
Audible
thing.
sigh as I clomp up to the top of the stairs.
Well, now that I see that stealth is just thrown out the window, I will just do a quick little hop up as well with a little jingle of my mail.
I see this little like
Little jingle of
little
mail,
like
though.
visual kind of like fit you had, and I'm just like, you had your chance.
Yep, and you make your way up to the top of the stairs. You see the same cart that he did with the rocks and debris. Past that, you see barrels and crates, more excavation tools. But a lot of these boxes and crates are rotten and falling apart. They've been here probably since this place was in actual operation in its heyday. And due to the moisture in the air and sort of the dampness in this place, the wood has not stood up to the test of time.
By chance, is there any sort of like sigils or markings or branding that might indicate what or who brought all this stuff down here? Because it obviously was not an easy task to bring it if our route was the only way.
Well, I mean, we could probably deduce since there's scales and shit everywhere that it's, and we saw those dudes. That
But
it's
still,
probably our
like
people.
they're aquatic people. Why would they just simply create something like this? This just does not make sense. to
They're
me.
excavating the cave.
But for what purpose and how long?
There's beds there.
And who supplied them with said supplies?
There's no sort of markings or sigils or like return addresses or anything like that on these boxes. If there was at any point, the paint has long since worn off and flaked off.
They're stealing from
They're looting from their victims.
That could be a thing.
We
too.
are here to investigate missing individuals, and I mean, this does seem suspicious, but as our unseen narrative has told us, this stuff seems to have been here for quite some time, and supposedly
long
from the
have they been-
contract, the people haven't been disappearing for this long.
That we know of.
Their
Well,
stuff might be deeper in, or they
let's-
might
Or it could be from different islands,
Proceed
different
with,
areas.
Let's proceed with caution.
Let's do
And
that.
I move closer to like the piles of boxes and things of that sort, and try and get a bead on what might be beyond.
I would like to redraw that throwing dagger and get them both ready again.
Do you have a pencil?
Hey.
Past the rotting boxes and crates, it sort of narrows a little bit, but then you can see that it opens back up into a very large cavernous kind of area, similar to the jellyfish room. It's still completely like adequately lit in this whole place.
Pipe.
Should we just go right in that room then?
Should
Finish
we,
exploring
or
this level before we go up again?
or do you think that it's probably like this, the last level, where it's all like abandoned and shit, like that area?
No, it wouldn't
And might
hurt
as
to
well just
check.
go up the steps. I suppose.
I think we should just keep following the steps.
Do you you still not able to control your token?
Yeah, just keep. I'm just.
Okay, I think
Imagine me with you.
he essentially not Knox would be near us. He's just not able to control his token, but I think onwards might be upwards. We could try and go that way. And I slowly and trying to take my time with it, I'll ascend the stairs. Try to get a bead on
Okey-doke.
what might lay beyond.
Worst case Ontario is we hit that room when we come back.
We hit it hard.
Yeah.
Boo-loo-loo-loo.
Maybe there's too many things connected to the network.
It's possible. I can disconnect my phone.
I'm disconnected.
Why are you connecting your phone?
My phone.
So getting up to the top of the stairs here, you see that this is a long hall that runs east to west. Statues stand in eternal guard as you kind of peek around each side. The statues depict men with fishes' heads, fish and crustaceans with multitudes of tentacles and limbs. There are beady-eyed monstrosities with great maws of sharp teeth. You can't see any further exits from where you are, but the statues definitely stand out to you.
I kind of look back, motion for Knox to step forward, and maybe you can discern a little bit more about these. I don't know. How is your historical or religious knowledge?
I'm proficient in
I would
history.
ask him for right now.
Yeah, I'm proficient in history.
Tell me what it's all. Tell me what it's all about, Wayne Ridlip. Well, I mean, just what you're gonna do. I mean, like describe it before he like. I mean, he'll ask you for a history check more than anything.
I would like to. I suppose I should probably first thing actually get up here. I would like to examine the way the I guess the fishmen are standing, their poses, what kind of armor or garb they're portrayed wearing. Do they have any weapons or religious artifacts? Just like anything that could be cultural significance, I guess.
Okay. Just for the purposes of this, make a religion check, please.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was gonna say like probably wanted to tell you which one to do.
So from what you've seen of the decoration and the aesthetic of this place, a lot of the reliefs and murals that have been carved are of naturally occurring things underwater. So in the entry room, you saw a depiction of all kinds of different sea life. and you've seen different amenities and things that have been put into this temple, or that were just naturally a part of this temple to help aquatic life dwellers to feel more at home. And all of these statues are things that you have never seen or have never heard of. These are probably depictions of some sort of religious figures for whatever race or peoples that might have built this temple. You don't know if any of them are still being actively worshipped or anything like that, but these definitely stand out as like something different than just like, oh, look, here is an octopus, or here is a clownfish. There's a like insanely ripped dude with just like a perfectly human body, and then just the head of a trout. And then there's another one where it's a crab, but the crab has like 64 more limbs and legs than it should, like stuff like that.
How's the craftsmanship overall?
The same as everything else in here that you've seen. If it's been purposely created to depict something, it is exquisite in its making.